What if we could show you how to create an additional income stream that feels inspiring to you and leverages not only off your passions, but your zone of genius? Head over to babesinbusiness.net/side hustle to download our free side hustle guide, a 40-page guide where we help you not only come up with your business idea, but help you set your rate, find your potential customers, help make your first few sales, come up with your point of difference, and ensure you have a profitable business that you can scale to create a life and career by design.
Babes Talking Business, our podcast, is the sister brand to Babes in Business. It's our passion project geared towards female entrepreneurs, professional women, side hustlers, those with a day job, and those full-time mamas striving to build their empire on the side, whether it's a traditional or non-traditional business, investments, startup, companies, or online social media influencers.
Our podcast is a safe place where women can be vulnerable, honest, and tune in to be educated and supported to learn about the ins and outs of business, the highs and lows, and feel comfortable to talk about finances and multiple streams of income, along with the lingo that often comes with it that intimidates and prevents a lot of us women from approaching these subjects altogether.
We not only mentor and encourage fellow entrepreneurs tuning in to build their own successful businesses, but teach them how to build confidence in themselves, reconnect with their why, let go of jealousy, and ultimately learn the power in connection, because at the end of the day, that is what life and business is all about.
This is a no BS podcast where we are committed to showing you what really happens behind the scenes of businesses' pretty highlight reels, so you can be reassured you are not the only one in the trenches, and we can hopefully empower you with ideas on how to run your life and business in a way that feels energizing, inspiring, and authentic to you and your mission.
We are your hosts. I'm 𝗦𝗢𝗔𝗟𝗦, and one of my biggest passions and missions in life is to revolutionize the way that women create abundance, to show you can really have it all and create your next level, wildest dreams whilst being in a total state of ease and flow. I'm a blogger, a coach and mentor to thousands of women around the world, a professional network marketer, a course creator, and above all, I'm just your everyday girl next door.
And I am Kerr. I'm a published author, life and mindset coach, and professional network marketer. When I was studying my psychology degree, I stumbled across the term life above zero, which became my personal and professional mission, to inspire others to create a life that they love, instead of just settling for mediocrity and just doing what society expects you to do. I love helping women find clarity and fulfillment in their lives, relationships, and careers. So, on that note, let's talk business.
I am so excited for today's podcast. We have the beautiful Britty on the line.
Yay! Our newest national marketing director. I know we've had a couple of girls on our team that we've made it kind of like a cultural thing. As soon as one of the girls hits it, we want to have you on the show so that people can hear your story, because I think everyone says yes to network marketing for different reasons, but once you've hit the pinnacle position in our company, it's a pretty big deal. Like,
it's not easy to get there.
No, it's massive. So we're so excited to have you on the show and for our listeners to be able to hear a little bit more about your story and I guess how you came across the network marketing profession and why you chose to use it as your vehicle to create what you've created.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me, ladies. I'm so excited as well. I suppose for me, network marketing came across my radar as a complete accident. I didn't know what it would be for me. I had no idea what it was going to turn into. And if had you have told me a few years ago I was going to be at this pinnacle position, I probably would have laughed. I came from a family that worked really hard, and we had very big goals of becoming a lawyer from high school. And I'd worked really hard to get into university and really hard to spend 6 years working to climb the corporate ladder. I'd always been a hard worker. I was never afraid of hard work. I'd worked full-time within a retail capacity while I was studying, but coming to network marketing, I had no idea what it could be, and I thought maybe it's going to pay a phone bill. Maybe it's going to be one little thing that it'll pay for me, and that's about it. And to be honest, I had no idea what it was going to turn into. And so the journey that it brought for me was absolutely insane. I was able to use this as a side hustle and build this business alongside working as a lawyer, alongside working in retail when I was still studying. And I love that I was able to build that in that side capacity. I also really enjoyed the fact that I was able to build a community and build friendships out of this as well. And sorry, I'm losing my voice. Hang on a sec.
We have to make a disclaimer, by the way.
Yeah.
There is a little piglet in the background. If you can hear her.
A little pitter patter. It's like little reindeer feet.
Reindeer feet.
Piggy feet. It's Pumbaa. Pumbaa the Frenchie.
And so I used this vehicle as something that I thought maybe one day it would be a tool that I could walk away from the corporate ladder. I thought that success only looked like working in a 9-to-5. I thought that in order to be successful, you needed to do that until you were 50, 60 plus, and then hopefully have enough maybe to pay off a mortgage. I thought that's what success looked like. And so as I started to build this business and this opportunity, I found that I could help other people. I could help share this vision for others and help mamas be at home for their kids and help others be able to study and be able to do other things than working a 9-to-5. And this business, it just started to develop, and I'd had so many hurdles that I came across in my personal life throughout the time. And about a year and a half into the business, I'd hit a really big promotion, but I wasn't really able to celebrate it because I was going through something really, really tough personally. And I lost my fiance of 7 years in a car accident throughout this journey. And I completely threw in the towel at one point with the business, but I kept going because I knew that this was able to support me and to create a life that I wanted with my partner. And so I carried on. I kept working really hard on it despite all the hard times that I had ahead of me. And I had this community that carried me through that tough time. And, you know, I had girls bringing food over to my house and calling me when I was at my worst moment and my darkest time in my life, and this community around me were my family, and they held me up during that. And I don't think you have that in any other industry. I certainly didn't have it in my corporate job, that's for sure.
I remember that time like it was yesterday. I remember the day, and what I loved about what I experienced and observed was just how people came together for you. It was really beautiful. People that weren't in your team, people who had no vested interest in, you know, you or your success, but people just, I think this business really brings out the really beautiful people in the world that actually want to give back to others and help, and like that's why we do what we do, right? I remember that time.
It's been such a powerful journey with so many ups and obviously a few really lows as well. Maybe if we rewind, so we can tease some of that stuff out, because there's so much gold in that and there's so many lessons I'd love for you to be able to speak into and share. For most of us, I know you mentioned you stumbled across network marketing. How did you stumble across it? Like, how did it kind of end up in your radar in the first place?
Oh, look, I came across on Facebook, so it was on social media. I saw someone's post and it intrigued me. I thought, what is this? I'd never heard of pretty much anything in the network marketing profession, so I didn't have a massive preconceived idea of what it could be. But it all just seemed too good to be true. I looked at it and I thought, how are these girls able to afford these holidays or work from the beach? It looks so amazing. But I thought, surely that isn't actually possible. Surely there's some sort of catch.
And so was there a catch? Like, what made you change your mind? Like, how did that happen?
There wasn't. I mean, I saw that it was hard work, but I saw something that I never knew before, which was residual income. And when that got showed to me and how I could create that vehicle for success without trading time for money, that was the biggest thing that stood out to me, because I knew that if I was going to work as a lawyer, I might have the financial freedom, but I wouldn't have the time freedom. And that residual income component of network marketing stood out to me. And particularly after the accident, I valued time so much more. And it was a real obvious reminder of how short life can be. And the last thing I wanted to do was trade time for money and not be able to live my life anymore.
Yeah. Do you know what I love about your situation as well? And because a lot of stigma is around the network marketing profession that, you know, the person above you like makes more than you, or, you know, you have to work your way to the top and the person at the top earns all the money. You have out-earned and outranked 2 of your uplines. Can we just bring that up for a moment?
Yeah, because a lot of people don't get that. Hey, they're like, oh, you're making the person up the top all the money, not realizing that what you put in, you put out, and you name your worth. It might be someone who's brought you in who might be treating this as a hobby, but if you come in and treat it like a business, you're the one who creates your worth, and it's got nothing to do with your upline and what they're doing.
Yeah, because a lot of people think network marketing's a pyramid scheme, like the person at the top, you know, makes all the money. It's so not.
Yeah.
And that is a perfect example of, you know, what's possible.
Absolutely. And when I came into this, I thought maybe that was the case in my traditional business. I thought, you know, there's a CEO or there's a principal lawyer and there's all these graduates that come in. Not all of them are going to be able to make partner. So to me, the traditional structure seemed more like a pyramid scheme, whereas this business was an opportunity where everyone started equally, and it was a matter of you being the only variable. And I saw that if I worked hard, I could be the CEO, but I could also have everyone that I'm working with also hit that level, which was so appealing to me.
And you and your girls, I mean, what you've created with your team, HerCollective, is just so inspiring. And you girls, like, you just have this energy about you. Like, how would you describe your team if you could use a few words?
Oh, it's so hard in a few words, but I think the team are so community driven, and they're so driven by friendship and excitement for helping others, that I think that the ability for that to come first is why our team is successful. And I think we band together, we collaborate, and it's not about competition like it is in the traditional business world. It's all about collaboration and bringing business in person, over smoothie bowls, going to the beach together, and having that friendship first. I think that's why we're so passionate about what we do.
Yeah, you can definitely tell.
Yeah, it's been so inspiring just to watch too. I know we were saying, like, a big thing for you over the last couple of years is, like, since the accident, was also coming back stronger and bigger, but also stepping into leadership. And it was something that you were scared to do, but since you've done it, it's like lit this beautiful, massive fire under all your girls' asses, because you've inspired them and you've shown them by you going first, they see the vision for themselves. So what would you say, especially stepping into the pinnacle position within the company over the last month, what would you say has been your biggest lesson when it comes to leadership over the last 12 months and kind of stepping into that space?
I think that a lot of leaders think, or not a lot of leaders think, but lots of people make the mistake of thinking it's about them, where it's realistically it's about your team. And stepping into this pinnacle position, it was never about me. It was about helping my girls and holding the light for them, and, you know, learning what they wanted and me helping them get there in order for me and us as a team to hit a pinnacle position. So it was about my team coming first and also me going first. I knew that until I was able to stand up and do team trainings, I was able to, you know, lead from the front. I couldn't expect that of my team. And it was all about showing up first and then helping to inspire them to follow and do the same thing.
Yeah, I love that. I think that was one of the things I realized, I think, probably within the first 12 months of this business, is that's what I love most about this network marketing industry, and I guess this business structure, is that you get to be the person behind the scenes helping people with their success. Like, you've obviously got to go first, your team have got to see you win, but then after that, after they've seen it's possible, it's like, now you get to be behind the scenes cheering them on and letting them have all the accolades. And I think that's the most inspiring part, because, like, it's just about you doing it first, turning around and passing on the torch. And then once they've seen like what you've been able to achieve, you've given them your belief, your confidence. It's just so... do you remember when you did the walk on glass thing? Do you remember you were saying how cool it was to turn around to see all the girls go? Do you want to talk into that? Because I think that kind of rings into this. Like,
totally. So we had a event where we had to do some glass walking. Actually, Britt, you were there. Did you do
the conference?
Yeah, it was like our team boot camp.
I think it was like the first boot camp or the first training I'd ever gone to in person.
Yeah. It was on the Gold Coast. And so we had to do some glass walking, and we had to envision our big wild goal at the end of the glass. And you look at, like, these shards of glass on the floor, you're barefoot, and you have to walk across them. And I remember walking across them, and halfway through I'm like, oh my God, this actually isn't even that hard. And then turning around and watching, like, all my team behind me, like you guys, walking across it, and actually realizing in that moment that what you're doing isn't as hard as you think it is, and you've got the support of everybody else there. And that whole analogy of walking towards your big wild goal, like through the glass, through the storm, it was just so overwhelming. I remember just sitting there bawling my eyes out, being like, this is such an incredible moment. I've just had a huge light bulb moment and realized what this business is all about. It's not about you, it's about them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And they just need to see you go first.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what it is. Since they've seen it can be done, and you did it with such grace and just such don't even know the right word for it. It was just, it felt so, we know that obviously there's a lot of work and hustle that went into it, but you did it with such etiquette. Like, you cheered your team on, we came from such a place of love. And I felt like there was so many challenges along the way, but each time you just came back just stronger and bolder and braver and even just more grounded as well. It wasn't like I'm forcing this. It's like, I deserve this and I've got everything I need in my tool belt now to just like conquer that next level.
Yeah, look, it's very much whenever big things happen in my life, like particularly the major heartbreak of losing Bryn, I felt like I couldn't do it anymore. And there's been multiple times in this business where I've just wanted to give up, but then I knew that if I give up, that's going to affect all of my team. And to me, it's more important to show up on those hard days and really think to yourself, what are you made of when time gets hard, to then really help your team with their goals. And I knew that if I was going to throw in the towel, then I wasn't going to be there for them. And so it was about coming back and learning what didn't work last time, what I needed to change in order to improve upon that and to grow, and then to teach it to everybody else around me.
You're so freaking resilient. I know you've added some value into this on your platform, so we'll make sure we link your social media so people can go find that, because I think it's been really beautiful over just in the last few months, kind of seeing you open up and sharing some of that wisdom that you've learnt over the last, I don't know, 3 years since doing this business?
3 years, yeah, it's just gone 3 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Time's gone by so fast.
Most people, like, we see it firsthand. We work with a lot of people. A lot of people don't show up for themselves. They say they want something and they don't do it. Now, that's not just with network marketing. That's just business and life in general. So if we just what life advice would you give to anyone who's going through something hard? Like, how do you show up and be resilient? Like, how do you continue to go after what you want when you've had something knock you off path? Because I know there's a lot of people that life isn't smooth sailing. Like, we all have stuff happen to us, and for a lot of us it takes us out of the game, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But what advice do you give to people? How do they get back on it, and how do they realign with what they say that they want?
I think you've got to get really crystal clear on why you said yes to what your goal is. So whether that's in business or in life or anything that you have as a goal, I think that if you lose sight of that, it's very hard to get back up when it's really difficult to. And I think if you stay crystal clear on that, then you have a reason to get up and do it again. I truly believe that if you let it get the best of you, then you're the one that misses out. You don't get to hit that goal. That dream gets taken from you. And life has so many obstacles. There's so many challenges that are going to come in your way, whether that's personally or in your business. And I think if you're going to let them get to you, then you're not going to reach your goal. So you've just got to keep going when the times get tough and try to see the light at the end of the tunnel and break it down into small, measurable goals. And if it's something big and scary, go do something else and have a break. Go for a beach walk. Go do something completely different, and then come back and attack it in small chunks. And that's what I did when it was coming to a really big promotion or a really big thing that I just felt like it was so far out of reach. I broke it down into like monthly goals, into weekly goals. And I thought, okay, today, how can I show up? What can I do? Even if it's just the smallest little step to make me feel like I've got that momentum. And even if you just take that one step in the right direction, I think you motivate yourself. I think you've got to show up before the motivation begins. Otherwise, you're just going to be chasing it and you might never find it. So you've got to show up. It's like going to the gym. You might feel like you don't want to go to the gym, but once you get there, it's so much easier, right?
Yeah.
So it's just about getting that first step, and then I feel like that momentum can come again. So just break it down.
I love picking people's brain apart like you, Britt, because to give people some context, let's talk about the 2 to 3 months before you hit N&D. You went pretty cray-cray. You went and got, 60 customers? Wait, no, you tell me the exact numbers because I'm having a total mind blank.
Okay, so it was 60 customers in my first month of the 2 or 3 months we're talking about. Then it was 54 then next month.
Okay, so let's just talk about that for a second, because that's not a normal... It's not a normal number.
No.
I think...
And personal customers, guys. These are personal customers.
Yeah. I think my biggest month in customers was 13 once.
I think my biggest has been 8.
And that 13 was like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I've spoken to so many people.
Oh, I was tired.
So we're talking to someone who is a high performer, and obviously you've got grit. We know that from your story, and you've got persistence and you've got vision. What got into your mind to go and get 60 customers? And for those who are listening, 60 customers for most people is just so wow. What would you say to them? What was your mindset around this?
Look, for me, prior to those few months, I was just playing it really small. I had a big goal, but I wasn't ready to show up to be that person that was able to achieve that goal yet. And I've read so many self-development books around this where you have to show up as the person that you want to become now in order for you to achieve that result. And so I knew that I just wasn't getting the traction, I wasn't getting the growth because I just wasn't doing the work to do that. I was showing up, but I was showing up 1% of the time. And so I knew that if I was going to go for this pinnacle position, I needed to first and foremost do it myself, because how could I expect my team to do the same thing if I wasn't doing it first? So I set myself a crazy goal. I remember saying to myself, okay, I'm going to aim for 25 new customers. And I remember looking at that figure and going, Britt, you're never going to hit that. That's never going to happen. And then after I got to work on it, it happened. It happened really quickly. And I thought, oh, maybe I can do 30. Maybe I can do 40. Then I got to 50. I was like, well, I'm not leaving it at 50. I've got to go to 60. And so I got into action, and it was so much fun because then I got my team into action too, and we did it together, and we all had such great results from it. Just that hard work and that, I guess, that vision of being and asking ourselves, how many people can we help this month?
Yeah, I love that. And do you know, I can just imagine what's going through everyone's mind right now. They're probably like got their pen and paper ready to hear how you did it. But I've heard a lot of people interview you around how you did it, because, I mean, the whole of Australia woke up and was like, who's this Brit chick? Like, what, 60 customers? And so you got interviewed a lot by a lot of leaders, and, you know, everyone was like, okay, so what's the secret sauce? How? What I've realized is there isn't actually a secret sauce that you have. You didn't do like sponsored ads, you didn't go and do something that no one's ever heard of before. You just literally did what network marketers are meant to do, and you went and spoke to people, right?
Yeah, 100%. People just don't realize that you've just got to have conversations. And I think people kept saying to me, what's your secret sauce? Like, there's got to be something that you're doing. And I remember just saying to so many people during that time, I was like, guys, you've just got to have more conversations.
Yeah.
Just think, how many people can I help today when I wake up? And that's what I did. I woke up in bed and I was like, right, I'm going to help 5 people today. And I set that intention and that goal, and I went to work, and if it got to 8 p.m. and I was on 4 customers, it's like, no, I'm going to make sure that I get that next person that I can help.
Can I just add in, on top of all this, you're studying medicine and you were working?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we weren't going to swear in this episode, so what the F?
Yeah, that just goes to show, like, all excuses are equal, right? You know, people are like, oh, but she can do it because she's not a mum. Or she can do it because whatever reason. No, you're studying medicine full-time. You're working part-time or full-time?
Part-time. Yeah.
And you're not just doing network marketing. You're running an entire organization. Like, you're a leader within the network marketing profession. So,
and you've had a lot of hiccups up until this point, because a lot of people use shit that's thrown at them as the excuse that keeps them out of the game.
yeah.
Like, you've taken every excuse I think people have used and you've just squished it. Besides the mum one. We can't talk into that yet because we're not mums. So I feel like every other
I'm a
thing
dog
about...
mum.
Yeah, you're a dog mum, so you're a mum to a dog. But every other thing that people talk about, like, yeah, I studied, yeah, I had shit happen to me, yeah, I've got a team, yeah, like, you just squished it all.
Oh, and let's not forget about when Facebook shut you down.
Oh my gosh.
So Facebook just
Twice.
decided that you are not a real person, and just not only deleted your Facebook, but you disappeared off the planet. Like, you did not exist on social media.
I tell you what, any hiccup that can come your way in life, guys, I've had it. Particularly going for a pinnacle position in our company. It was just one of those things that I thought, can anything else go wrong?
It was 2 weeks before, wasn't it?
It was 2 weeks before. So I had a 24-hour ban on my account. I had just brought on about 50 customers, and all of them thought I had just completely blocked them.
Like, sold them something, see you later.
See you later, gone. So I had to I remember sitting there at about 10 o'clock at night and messaging all these people one-on-one. I'm like, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah, I remember I got an email from someone who was like, I'm really scared. I just bought these products from this girl and now she's gone. And I'm like, no. Her Facebook's been shut down. Don't worry, I'll get you in contact with her.
It was so bad. So I've honestly had every hiccup, but I could have just ran and put a doona over my head and cried, which I felt like doing many times, but I just had to keep showing up. I knew I had to keep going. And Facebook eventually lifted it, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it is Shani here. I am going to briefly pop in here midway through this episode to introduce a book to you that you've got to put on your must-read list. Have you got a pen and paper ready? It is called The 4-Year Career. It is by Richard Bliss Brooke, one of my mentors. He wrote this book, and I remember reading it when I first started my business, and it just lit a huge fire in my belly to go and chase my dreams and throw everything I have at it and go all in. Now, the book is all about how to make your dreams of fun and freedom come true using the network marketing profession as a vehicle to help you create a passive income. Now, what I love about this book is if you are someone who's been contemplating starting a side hustle, in particular wanting to create a passive income on the side of what you already do, or you've been contemplating joining the network marketing profession, but you're just not sure if it's right for you, this is the book to read, because it is going to teach you so much about the industry and the profession, and it's going to help you make that decision whether it's a full body yes or a full body no. This book will help you make that choice. Now, if you're already in network marketing, you will love this book if you haven't read it yet, because it just builds your belief so much, and it just makes you so proud of being a part of this multi-billion-dollar industry that is called network marketing. So make sure you go to my website, www.𝗦𝗢𝗔𝗟𝗦.com/books, BOOKS, and you'll be able to grab a copy with my story in it. So you'll be able to grab the edition for my company, and my business story is in there on page 111. How convenient. And what I really love about sending these books out to you guys is I always pull a super attractor Gabby Bernstein card for you, and then I write you a sweet little note in the front just for you. So make sure you head over to my website to pick that one up, and free shipping, so why not? All right, guys, let's get back to this episode because it is just about to get really awesome.
Every training, all your IP, everything you've ever created to help your team be successful disappears. Like, it's like you never existed on social media, and that post is gone, that training's gone, that video's gone. Like, Brit who? Like, it's
12
so
hours
bad.
worth of content gone.
Oh,
I actually have anxiety thinking about it.
too. We need to back up our Facebook group.
Yeah, it's definitely something to learn from it all.
Oh my gosh. But honestly though, it has been so inspiring watching over the last 3 years, and like I said, I think what's been the best part of it is every excuse people can use, you've taken it and squished it, but you've just led from the front and you've done it so beautifully, and I think you've inspired, you know, it sounds cliche, but you don't serve the world by playing small. And when you step into that light, it's not just about you, it's about you. You've lifted the standard for so many people in the company, like in the industry. People are watching you like, oh, what do you mean 4 is the average number of clients? Now 60. What do you mean? Like, you not even like you tripled your paycheck in like 3 months, wasn't it? You tired of, like, it just blows your mind.
Yeah, it did. My whole business transformed, which was so beautiful to see. But it just goes to show that every excuse is equal, and if you show up when the times get tough, you can achieve anything. And I've never really liked the whole idea of someone limiting your goals or your dreams. And if someone said to me the average amount of clients someone can bring on is 4, I would say, oh, well, I can do 10. And that I would like pride myself on being able to beat that, because I just think that whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve.
Yeah. Do you think that you have a competitive bone in you? Like I know I do. Do you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, don't play Monopoly with me. I'm horrible.
I'm the worst person to play. We should never play Monopoly together.
We should play.
I would never let you guys play Monopoly. I'll have the glass of wine and popcorn if you do.
No, I like the dark blues. Be careful.
So you would say yes? That competition is something that drives you?
Definitely. Competition, like healthy competition, of course, but I think it can be really, really inspiring.
Loz is shaking her head. Loz is not driven by competition.
Actually, one of your girls on your team reached out to me this week saying the exact same thing. I was like, babe, she's like, is something wrong with me? I'm like, no, I understand exactly how you feel. I'm the exact same.
Yeah. No,
everyone's
I love
driven,
it.
That's why I asked you, because everyone's driven by different things. Like some people are driven by recognition. I know in the beginning I was.
Yeah.
I'm definitely competitive. Like Like I don't want to come first, but I want to like one up someone.
Yeah.
Like I go to F45 and I wear the heart band.
Just so you can be like, I'm on the top.
Yeah. And if there's someone like, if someone's going like second and I'm third, I'm like, I have to at least get second. Like I cannot come last. So it's, I think why I'm so fit.
Maybe that could be it. I don't know. I still haven't worked out what drives me. Mine's more, I don't know. It's like integrity and just enjoying life. I don't know. If I've got to hustle at the expense of me enjoying my life, I won't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm not afraid to show up to the hustle. I think that's a big thing for me. Like, if the goal's really big and I think, oh my gosh, I'm not going to achieve it, if I have to take all night to do it, I'll do it if it means I get it done.
Yeah, I won't do it. And I think
we have the same brain.
Yeah, no, that's not me. And I think because we're talking about this in Bali, because I think that there was an incentive that happened in Bali, and I was talking to Shen about why I wasn't like fueled to do it. I'm like, I'll do it. Like, I'm going to do it, but it wouldn't, whether the incentive was on the table, if it wasn't, it wouldn't change the amount of effort I'd put in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just give my 110 all the time.
Yeah.
So, and I think what pisses me off about competitions, I feel like it's a scarcity mindset. It's like you've got to win at someone else's expense. It's like, I'll win, and that means you guys can't. And I'm like, that just doesn't fuel me. I'm like, can we all win? Can we all just love each other? We all come equal first. Yay!
You were the kid at school that really was happy about your participant ribbon, weren't
Yeah.
you?
I never got that. I still always got high distinctions in first.
We needed the gold stars.
Yeah, I was the one that was like, give me that goddamn gold one.
I still got them. I didn't try for them.
Well, see, it's just as good then.
But I just don't know. It's weird. I'd love to, if someone understands this, come and psychoanalyze me, because competitions never fueled me.
There's got to be something that fuels you.
Yeah, there definitely is. But it's more like just fun and connection. I don't like, as soon as it means it's at someone else's expense, I don't like it.
That's so sweet of you.
Is it? I don't know. Is it?
I feel like we're bullies now.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think I read this book. Actually, Loz, you got me onto it. Questions Are the Answers by Alan Pease, and it's a really great book, easy read. And he talks about it. The thing that I took away from it was there are 9 reasons why people join this profession and like what drives them. Mm-hmm. And
go around. I want to know. That'd be interesting. You keep going, but I think that'd be cool for people to listen in, like, because everyone joins for different reasons.
Yeah. Well, what were the 9? I'm not going to remember all of them, but there was like giving back, being my own boss, financial freedom. Actually, I could get it up on my laptop.
Probably like recognition, time freedom, connection, contribution. So many different things.
I feel like, recognition's never been a massive one for me, but having the independence of being my own boss was huge. Like, I love the idea of having that freedom, and the financial freedom as well, to not have to trade time for money was massive.
Yeah, I think for me, at the start, it was something just positive, because child protection was really heavy, and I just liked it sounded fun. It was what I wanted to with the holistic and preventative health space. So it was just like something that was a bit more positive, but then what ended up fueling me to drive me to create significant success was I wanted freedom. I'm like, I just want to be at the beach. If I don't want to work, I just don't want to work. If I want to go visit my family, stay with my family for 3 weeks. If I want to go to the Bahamas for 3 weeks, I just want to. I want to have multiple holidays, multiple times a year.
Yeah, 100%, and not have to take annual leave from it is the biggest thing, right? You get to be your own boss and make your own decisions about travel, about where you want to spend your time, how much you want to spend your time. You get to hire yourself every day. It's brilliant.
Yeah, expansive. I think it's just the idea of being totally liberated and total freedom is what drove me, but wasn't what initially attracted me though. What about you, Shen? What was your driver, do you reckon?
It was money for me. Because I was so broke. I had no money. And I had this maxed out credit card, and I was putting $5 of fuel in my car at a time. So for me, I really did join for the money, and not in a, like, I'm not greedy with money. It wasn't in a greedy way. It was more like I actually need to survive, because my anxiety and my stress around my financial situation was just crazy. Like, I was in a really bad position. So I like the bonuses, like all those early bonuses were exciting for me. And then once I got on top of my financial situation, I think my why changed. So I think your why evolves over time.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like my why when I first began was, very much around just having an additional income, whereas now it's just completely different. It's about creating a legacy. It's about what this can be for so many more people, and having that life freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah. And I think, like, I always talk about, like, it's easy for women our age to talk about the power of residual income, but the whole point of it is we're digging, and this is why I think it's really hard for us to, it's we're so passionate about trying to educate young women about residual income, because you're trying to help them dig their well before they're thirsty, because a lot of us don't really need it until later on in life when you have a kid and you go down to one income, or you retire, or your partner gets made redundant, or God forbid you lose your partner. But that's what I'm saying, it's so hard to usually for women to understand the importance of residual income, because you don't really need it at this age. So I think it's been really powerful for somebody like yourself to be able to learn that lesson really early on, so you can give that gift, because a lot of young women just don't get the power of time. Like, that's something that we just don't have. And I'm like, I just wish, because I don't think many of us don't actually start looking into passive or residual income until later in life. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with what happened was such a reminder of why it's important from an early age, because you miss those really important moments rather than having to wait until retirement to start enjoying your life. It's making the time in your 20s and the 30s to be able to actually be at home with your kids, or to be at home when, you know, something does go wrong and you need to have that extra time off. And it takes me back to when everything happened. I would have had to have gone back to work after 2 compassionate days if I didn't have annual leave. That's what life would have looked like. So because I had this business, which was only a side income at the time, but it was enough to allow me to grieve and to be at home and to be where I needed to be during that difficult time, and not have to put on a brave face and go to a job that I hated and I just couldn't mentally be at.
Yeah. I remember actually reflecting on how grateful I was for this business when all of that happened with you, Britt, because I just remember thinking, I'm just so freaking glad that she's getting paid every single month. Because there was a period there where it was not possible for you to be in public or to see people, anything. And this business just was able to pay you through that. Like, that's why I freaking love this profession, because you just, you just don't understand what you have, I think, until something like that happens.
Absolutely.
So we can help more women, empower more women with the idea of just having a second income. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but it's just when shit happens, whether like COVID, you lost your job this year, or your hours got reduced, like having the power of a second income. And I think it actually, just listening to this just made me reflect. I think that's what lit the fire up my ass and made me get really serious about this business, was actually when my nan passed away. I think, I don't know if I've told that story on the podcast, but it was my nan or my pop was the first one who passed away.
Your pop, was it?
Oh, it was my nan first, because pop was at NMD school. I had the flexibility for my pop. But for the first one, my nan passed away. I was still working in child protection, and I had to go back to work within the week. And my mum had a massive heart attack within 24 hours before my nan passing away. And I was due back on the Gold Coast, my family 18 hours away. And I remember just being like, that, up until that point, my foot was kind of in and one foot was kind of out. Once it happened, I was like, you know what, F this. I have a vehicle in my hand that means that I could create double, triple, 10 times my income and be here with family while they grieve. My mum just lost her best friend. We nearly lost my mum. I wanted to be there, but because I didn't have that opportunity or that backup yet, I had to fly back. But 12 months later, by the time my pop passed away, I stayed at home for like 3 weeks and grieved with my family because I could.
And that's what I think so many people forget at our age, is that they're not prepared for when things go wrong, because they think it's so far in advance. But like we've learnt with COVID, or we've learnt with, you know, these sorts of lessons, is that you never know what's around the corner. And I quite often like to think of like the idea where, you know, 2 cars are passing by and one's going to the beach and one's going to a funeral. And it's so easy when you're in the car going to the beach thinking that life is perfect and life is so good, but the person going to the funeral is so easy to think that life will never get good again. But realistically, both will be in the opposite car at some point in their life. And I think that the people going to the beach, what have they got in place to protect them when they're going to the funeral? And it's one of those things, if you don't have that protection with your finances, but also just having a community and a support network, what are you going to do when the time gets really difficult? So it's so important to have that now before something happens.
I think it's such an important message that not a lot of people open up about and talk about. So I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your story, Britt, because I know it's not easy to talk about, but I just think about every single person who's hearing this right now and the message that you've shared and the ripple effect of that. Like, this is a powerful message. It's really, really, like, I'm so excited for the message to get out there so that we can help people think a little bit, think forward, and just have that conversation with their loved ones or, whoever, like, well, what if? Like, what do we have in place? Mm-hmm. It's just something we don't think about.
Absolutely. And if it can help just one person just to ask that question of what if, or what do we do? What's our safety net? And just get people thinking, I think that's so powerful in what we do.
Yeah. And just make you think, time's limited, and if you don't like the way that you're spending your time, think, can you create a way where you don't have to trade your time for money, so you can spend more of the time that you do have with the ones that you love, doing the things that you love.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I love what we do.
More.
Yeah,
Me too.
same.
It's always lots of gratitude.
Yeah, no, these conversations are good because they ground you, and I think they remind you the power of what we do. Because just like anything, network marketing is a business, and I think day to day sometimes you get kind of swept up in business and what you got to do on your to-do list and helping everybody else. But I think when you have an opportunity to take a step back and really reflect on how far you've come and what you've been able to create, and the lives you've impacted, and the messages and the legacy you've got to leave already. Like, there's already such a big legacy within 3 years. Like, just proud of you and excited for you.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it without you girls as well. I'm so lucky to have such beautiful people around me.
Can't wait to see what the future holds.
Me too.
Thanks for being on, lovely.
Thanks for having me.
Hey guys, Loz here. What an amazing episode. I hope you're feeling inspired after that conversation and it's empowered you to make some amazing changes and choices in your life. Don't forget to let us know if you loved this episode by giving us a 5-star review. It really helps us know we're on track and serving you guys, and also majorly supports our channel. And you may even be in the running to be the shout out of the week. Every week on our Instagram, we share one of our reviews with our network, so be sure to leave your Instagram handle or website in your review so we can share it with our amazing community. I have been so excited to share with you guys my book, Life Above Zero. It's a book based in psychology and science, specifically written for women who feel empowered yet unfulfilled and are seeking help to find their clarity and happiness. Women just like you who want to be empowered with the tools to master their mindset, to overcome self-sabotage, and create a life, business, or career they love in alignment with their values and inner truth. I wanted to save you tens of thousands of dollars, years of your time, energy, and heartbreak, studying psychology, getting a degree, attending personal development weekends and seminars, and hours scrolling online looking for the right person to help. So here it is. I have condensed everything I've learned personally and professionally from working with people, their psychology, and their mindset over the last decade, and have put it into a beautiful book you can enjoy and make your way through at your own pace. I share personal stories throughout so you can find comfort in knowing you're not broken, crazy, or alone in what you're going through. I cry and laugh with you, and you know you can always rely on me for that tough Lozzie love in there too. If you're not a big reader and would rather have me read it to you on your morning walk or the daily commute to work, or whilst you're sipping on that wine making dinner, then don't worry, you can also get my book on Audible. If you click on the link in the show notes, you'll be able to grab yourself a copy. And if you head over to my website, www.lifeabove0.com.au, and sign up to my newsletter, you can even have the first chapter sent to you for free while you wait for your copy to arrive in the mail. Make sure you tag me in yours when it arrives. I love seeing it in your hands and hearing what you guys are taking from it. Don't forget to head over to the show notes for you to check out any links, books, or references we mentioned in this episode and our cheat sheets. Before we go, we just wanted to say a big thank you for being here, for committing to being the best version of you, and for showing up for you today. You are freaking amazing. Now, if you think there is someone in your life that could really benefit from this episode, while you're feeling super inspired, please hit the share button and send them this episode. Share it with them right now. The reason we're asking you to share the love is because you get what you give, and the more you give and inspire, the more you get in return. Head over to www.babestalkingbusiness.com to check out all our other podcasts. Sending you guys so much love, and we'll see you soon.